Hi, you guys. This is Rachel here, the Modern Shaman. Thanks for being with me for another YouTube video of this week. I'm glad you're here, as always, and I invite you to check out my website if you'd like to connect with me further. I am a full-time shaman and seer, and so I would love to meet with you one-on-one for sessions if you'd like healing work, traditional reader, and seership of future probabilities, past life, healings from the physical body, medical intuition, as well as any ceremony work, sacred ceremony in terms of just soul retrievals and even a sense of shamanic kind of birthing time. We're going through so much birthing right now as we are moving into just a beautiful space as a community on this earth. So if you're interested in any of that, please reach out. Also, my masterclass, I love hearing from you guys that are doing the masterclass. It is so powerful and transformative for so many of you that are truly, finally stepping into who you are. And the curriculum is created on my online modules to really just remind you what exists within you. So many people write to me and talk kind of back and forth about their experience as they're going through those videos and all of the practice activities, meditations, curriculum that I instruct you through, and just how much they are remembering of themselves and being profoundly changed for the better. So that is also available, and I hope that if your heart is really aching for learning more, for remembering more, it's really not learning. It's facilitating your remembering. That's my heart. That you always hold your sovereign energy and just living out the truth of your own soul. Okay, so I'm going to answer the question that you guys sent in this week, and we will dive in. So it says, Rachel, thank you so much for your channel. I wanted to ask about angels. I feel the presence of angels all around me, but I'm scared to open up to them because I'm afraid of their counterpart, demons. How do I communicate with them? Okay. The communication is easy, but I would say get rid of your fear first. Even when I just kind of promoted my masterclass, so much of the foundational curriculum is just doing kind of shadow work of our own fears, clearing our vibrational state so that when we do reach out, we have boundaries in place and we have vibrational foundations that feel higher level. Okay, so I'm going to get a little technical here, but we know we have vibrations, right? In layman's terms, people are like, what's your vibe? Or I get a good vibe from that person. Essentially, vibrations are the oscillation, right, of a wave. It can be a light wave, it can be an electromagnetic wave. If you're talking about auras, it's an electromagnetic wave, and you're picking up on the vibration or the oscillation. So it measures kind of the height, like if you're thinking of a wave, right? You're thinking about the fact that there is a regular pattern of variation in that wave. So the height of that would be measured in terms of frequency. That's the number. It's a numerical value that we have for vibration, right? So when we talk about angels, there are varying vibrations within that species of non-planetary beings, okay? And these are off-planetary beings. They are not from Earth. They do not originate here. They are not human. They are not earthbound energies. And so I hope that doesn't freak anybody out that I use that term, that they are off-planetary beings. They can interact, but their vibrational tone or their vibrational frequency is typically a higher level frequency. And so in order to communicate with them, the first thing I would say would be to clear the fears that you may personally have, and then clean up your vibration, because it's always, there's always a match on our side of vibrational tone and vibrational kind of eminence, what we're emanating out, and that of the non-physical realm. When it comes to kind of digital data, if you think of it in terms of programming or matrix work or any type of scientific analysis, whatever is on this numerical side of the equation on the earth will match the numerical equation on this side. So frequency to frequency, there is a law of attraction at work there that will connect you with a sense of communication with those that are in like-minded, harmonious energy. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have discordant frequencies or kind of things like that, but you will not vibrate with them. So you won't come down to that level. They won't feel like they are, weighing on you in that way. You'll kind of have a sense of awareness and be able to simply say, you don't belong here. It's not your vibe. You don't belong here. And it won't have any sort of claim on your frequency. So that's my first piece of advice, is to work through your sense of fears with that. So part of that is clearing what's in you that's been associated with negative experiences in the past. This may be past life as well as is current, that are still playing within your own emotional body, your physiological response, which is inclusive of your hormonal response, your fight or flight, kind of cortisol, adrenaline kick that oftentimes pushes things away. And then the easiest way to kind of move your frequency and vibration up is just through goodness. It's literally just being kind, being good, doing things that have moral implication for goodness and righteousness and virtue. This is the purity. And we think of these things in action, and they are in our human 3D realm, but in the vibrational realm, they are a purity, meaning the oscillation starts to move faster and faster, and so it moves us into a higher vibrational state. And our vibe or our frequency begins to emanate higher. And so the waves that are coming out of our electromagnetic frequency, which is our auric field, right, which is determined by the heart, not just the regular beat of it, but it is a magnetic organ in itself, and it creates an amplified magnetic field. This is measured, this is science, this is not, heebie-jeebie talk. And all that being said, this is literally how you connect in finding a sense of frequency that is resonant with that. So I will give a little background on this also. So this is the same way that mediums connect with non-physical entities or earthbound spirits. So there are lower level vibrations that are in the non-physical world. And when we are not doing our personal clearing and purity of our own vibration, we can still connect with non-physical entities and energies that are lower vibration, right? Earthbound spirits that are kind of human-like or animal-like. These can be lower level. Now, animals can also oscillate high frequency, but there are also some that are a little more beast-like and that can keep themselves in the lower level frequencies, okay? And so your own personal work and vibration, this is why sometimes people connect with, they go meet a medium, or they have a really negative, creepy experience with somebody that is a fortune teller or connecting with spirits, but they're connecting with really lower level energies, because you can feel literally the vibe, the frequency of their vibration when you walk into those spaces, and there's a dense heaviness to that location or to that individual, or because you can work with energies that are in those lower level ranges, and because you're on that frequency, you're able to communicate. And I don't say that in judgment, I just say that in kind of scientific understanding of the way that vibration works and frequency and harmonizing frequencies. Okay, so let's talk about angels and kind of their varying species. So this was something that I was totally fascinated with when I was younger, and just poring over the Bible. If y'all have followed my channel, you know that I used to just read the Bible. Like I've read it probably 5 times cover to cover. Like and if you saw it, it's like all notes everywhere, written, highlighted, questions, and like, what is this? And how does this tie into this? And just fascinating. So, and yeah, so angels are super fascinating. If you look at the Old Testament, they are totally trippy. And I don't know really where we got a lot of the personified expression or imagery that's current. So cherubim, which was in Ezekiel in the Old Testament, cherubim are like these shape-shifting beast faces. Like they have an ox on, they're 4-faced beings that have one wing that goes, or 2 wings that kind of cover the body, and they have human legs, and then they have hoofs for feet. They're super weird. And these are cherubim. I don't know where we got the little naked baby things of like little cherubs, for Valentine's, but they are crazy in their description looking. And their faces, they have like one human face, an eagle face, an ox face. I can't remember what that last face is. I think it's a lion. It's like a feline face, like it's a lion or a jaguar or something. Anyways, these cherubim are considered the lower frequency of the angelic species. And that doesn't mean negative. They are just more protectors. They're not, and they were seen as like keeping the Garden of Eden and kind of the spaces from spirit or humans to enter in. Like they were like guardians and protectors in this domain, kind of in between the 3rd and 4th dimensional domain here. And the spiritual domain and the physical domain. So that's why I say 4th and 3rd dimension, because they kind of were protectors of that Garden of Eden that humans got expelled from and couldn't come back in. Okay, so they had that little element of like beast to them that was crazy. And then there was the next level, which is like the archangels. These were called the messengers, and they often came as messengers. Like they came to Mary to tell her that she was going to conceive. That was Gabriel. And then Michael was said to be the messenger of God. And there was like that weird angel of death that, came through Egypt. And anyways, and they were human looking. They didn't have wings when they described them. They looked like humans, sometimes taller than humans, but that's how they described them. And they were also kind of mid-range vibrational. So a lot of times people connect with archangels very easily. They have a lot of accessibility to that range of like doing the spiritual work. They're on their ascension and they start to feel archangel energy. It's a very accessible, and because they are messengers, a lot of times there's a spirit of like an awareness that spirit's trying to communicate, that angels are trying to communicate. These are typically the messenger spirits in that realm of the angelic species. And like I said, they are just a little vibrational higher than our human. By little, I mean, you're still working on your ascension. You're working on that purification of your own vibration and truly seeking love, unity. You're going to feel a sense of love and peace and higher vibrational expression to them. Then there was the Oraphim, and these were also kind of weird. Like they had 6 wings, and they had like a head right in the middle of the wings. It was like these wings up, these wings down, these wings like in all directions. And then they had like this eyes or wing or head in the middle. They didn't really describe it as a head or like an eye, but like it's the vision center in the middle of these wings. That's also kind of crazy. And they were the ones, the Oraphim. Oh, no. I got that wrong. So there's Seraphim and then there's Oraphim. Sorry, I'm not. This is just like my memory of reading the Bible. The Seraphim are the ones like that have the wings. Okay, and they're always typically seen like golden light wings, like high vibrational light wings. Okay, and then they have that head in the middle, and they're big when they're seen and described. And then the Oraphim, these are the ones that kind of always sounded like UFOs when you hear on Ancient Aliens and these documentaries where they say, it's like these concentric rings that almost look like the kind of like the Olympic rings, but they kind of come almost like a gyroscope. They kind of spin inside of each other in different ways, and then they have eyes all around the rings, like eyeballs. That's the way they're described. So you kind of wonder, like, okay, are those lights that are like spinning on some sort of, I don't know. But that's the way they are crazy described. And these are the protectors of the throne of God when they're, so it's the like protectors of that heavenly realm. The seraphim are the ones that are constantly like singing and vibrating. There's like a very tonal quality to them in the Bible where they're singing like holy, holy, holy. And there's a, I want to say like a very sing and tonal, like musical energy that feels very harmonious with that. Also seen around the throne, but not so protective. Like there's a nature with the Oraphim that feels very protective. So all that being said, this is what we know biblically from the angelic species, if that's why you're calling them angels, if you have an association with that. And so oftentimes when they feel like they are wanting to communicate, you simply work on your vibrational tone, and then you call in that species or that particular angel, if it may be a particular archangel that you feel is around you, or you may ask, who is it that is here? Show yourself in your true form. Remember that you have sovereign energy in your being. Your vibration in matching with their tone is able to have communication that is free, pure, and safe when you are directing it in that way, meaning not emanating fear in yourself, not attracting that fear at all. So create that space of safety first, and then invite in a discussion there that feels open and safe, with calling in a particular angel that you feel comfortable with, or a particular species of angel that you would like to know more about, and then having the dialogue in a way that feels like you are not subservient. In that way, you are showing of your true vibrational purity, your true soul, your own soul light. And in that way, the communication happens pretty easily. It's very telepathic, empathic. And so there'll be emotional communication. There's so many levels of communication the higher and higher you go. So they can speak in imagery and light and tone, like I said, with the seraphim, or sound. They can speak telepathically with understanding and emotional quality. And each, as you begin this dialogue, like each has a very specific communication type. At least that's been my experience. So I wish you well, and I hope that was helpful to you. Blessings.